Hello my dear students of second preparatory stage. أهلا بكم طلابنا الأعزاء لمرحلة الصف الثاني الإعدادي للغة الإنجليزية. As usual, we have a new episode or a new session. عندنا النهاردة حلقة جديدة، وزي ما احنا عارفين إن هي كل مرة تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. النهاردة خليني أفكركم إحنا our session of today will be a review on the previously explained units of units 4, 5 and 6. يعني النهارده احنا عندنا زي مراجعه عامه كده عن كل اليونتس اللي احنا خلصناها الفتره اللي فاتت، الوحده الرابعه والخامسه والسادسه، لان انا زي ما قلت لكم المره اللي فاتت ان the last sessions were the end of our curriculum او اخر curriculum او اخر حاجه في المنهج احنا خلصناها المره اللي فاتت كانت unit 6. فالنهارده we will have like a revision on the previously explained units. Okay, so we will revise a lot of grammar lessons. We will revise also the writing paragraphs. We will revise how to read articles or reports. So all of these details will be revised. أو كل الأشياء دي وكل ال areas أو كل الدروس دي هتتراجع النهاردة. So I want you to be ready with your with your copybook and with your books, with your pencils, with your highlighters. لازم يبقى معاكم نوت بوك فاضية تكتبوا فيها أي details أو أي notes you have to be careful for while studying. يعني أي حاجة هتلاقوني بقولها زيادة كمراجعة لازم تكتبوها في copy book فاضية علشان ممكن دي تساعدكم while studying later on. Okay, so be ready with your books, your copy books and your pencils or your pens. Okay, so let's have now a quick look at the objective of today. Let's do it. So now let's have a quick look at our objective of today. By the end of this session, you will be able to revise the previously explained lessons in units 4, 5 and 6 as I just told you minutes ago. So here, get ready with your books and open that page in Review B that includes this short article or this report. Now, read the text quickly. Which objects did Hamid see at the museum? Okay, see here, a trip to Luxor Museum by Hamid. Hamid wrote this article or this short extract. A trip to Luxor Museum. رحلة لمتحف الأقصر. Last week, I went to Luxor Museum with my class. The museum is further from my home. بعيد عن بيتي. Than our school. أبعد من بيتي عن المدرسة. We were traveling for a long time. We arrived at 10:30 a.m. احنا وصلنا الساعة 10:30 الصبح. As we were walking into the museum, we saw some big statues. Statues معناها تماثيل. Okay. My favorite was the statue of Ramses II. هنا when I refer with this sign, it means the second. It's Latin. دي حاجات زي أرقام مكتوبة باللاتينية. Okay, so ده كان تمثال رمسيس الثاني. There were also rings and necklaces. يعني كان في زي مجوهرات خواتم عقد مثلا that once belonged to rich Egyptian families. There were a lot of small coins from the same time too. Coins اللي هي العملات. So that was the first extract أو ده أول فقرة. The second paragraph. The museum has some very old objects. كان في أشياء تانية related to old times. My favorite objects were the metal bowls. البولات اللي كانوا بيحطوا فيها الأكل. The ancient pharaohs. From the 14th century. The oldest objects in the museum were the tools. كانت أقدم حاجة هو شافها حامد هناك tools at this museum. Some were made of metal and some were made of stone. يعني معظمهم كان معمول من الميتال and الستون الحجارة. While I was reading the information, وأنا بقرأ information, my friend found a tool that was 10,000 years old. يرجع تاريخها ل 10,000 سنة قبل 10,000 سنة فاتوا. So here I just want you to focus on something. While, which is related to past continuous tense, زمن الماضي المستمر. When I have while and I have long action and short action. If I have while, it's always followed by long action. يعني لو عندي while أي وقت ده بيبقى بعدها دايما الحدث الطويل. That's why I add was or were plus ing. Don't forget this. And in the second part, as we mentioned here, I add found, the past simple tense. So when I have while, okay, it should be followed by the long action, which means was or were plus ing. And in the second part of the sentence, I put the verb in the past simple tense. And if I start the sentence with while I was doing something, I should add here a comma in the middle, okay? But if you have while in the middle, so don't add any commas. ما بنحطش أي commas خالص. So let's have some questions on these two extracts we have just read. Read the presentation we have just read. Are the following sentences true or false? And we have to correct if we have a false sentence. أو لو عندنا حاجة غلط لازم نصلحها. Hamid went to the museum with his family. Is this true or false? Let's remember what we have read. Totally it's false because he went actually with the class at school. So here, number 2. The first objects that Hamid saw were the masks. Is this true or false? It's false. So what were the first things he saw? He saw some big statues first. قلنا إن هو أول حاجة شافها the statue of Ramses II. The third sentence, the jewelry used to belong to rich families أو المجوهرات اللي هي كانت تنتمي للrich families. Yes, it's true. Number 4, Hamid liked the bowls from the 14th century. Is this true or false? Yes, it's true. And for the last sentence, there weren't any metal tools. ما كانش في أي أدوات معمولة من المعدن in the museum. Is this true or false? Definitely it's false because we said some were were made of stone and others were made of metal. يعني بعضهم كان معمول من الحجارة والبعض الآخر معمول من المعدن. Okay, so here we have the language part, and let me remind you of the comparative cases of the adjectives and how to use the comparative cases of some adjectives and how to use the equal ones using as plus adjective as. خلوني أفكركم بسرعة. As I told you in the previous session, if we have comparative cases أو حالات المقارنة, I put the adjective then followed by er, then than, like bigger than, like smaller than, like shorter than, like any adjective, short adjective plus er plus than, okay? This is if we have short adjective like big, thin, small. Okay, what if we have a long adjective? What shall I do in this case? Shall I say, for example, expensiver? No, this is incorrect and it's totally wrong. I shall add more expensive than, more relaxing than, more comfortable than. So if I have short adjective, I just add er and then. If I'm comparing between two things, and I have a long adjective أو صفة طويلة, I add more plus the adjective plus than. Okay, so we have here some of the short adjectives and other ones which are longer. So we have big, expensive, big يعني كبير, expensive غالي, far يعني بعيد, good يعني جيد, new حديث, old قديم. But let me remind you of something else. Big, it's ended in G, and G is preceded by I, the vowel I, يعني قبلها حرف متحرك I. So as I told you in the previous session, لو احنا عندنا short adjective and before the last letter I have a vowel, يعني قبل آخر حرف في vowel, I should double the last letter to be bigger with double G. Okay, so here we have some sentences like the bowls in the museum were spaced than the tools. Choose first the correct adjective according to the meaning. يعني هنختار الأول الadjective اللي ليه علاقة بالمعنى الصح. Then we put it either in a comparative case أو زي ما احنا شايفين هنا as plus adjective as. So because I have than here, it means I have to choose the comparative case. مش هينفع أقول as وعندي than. Okay? So the bowls in the museum were spaced than the tools. Which is the suitable adjective here? Definitely it's newer. And I add er to new because I have than, newer than the tools. Okay. In number 2, the statues, التماثيل, were spaced than the coins. again, if I have than, it means I have to add an adjective plus er or a long adjective plus preceded by more أو قبلها more. ده عشان عندي than يعني بيدل على comparative. Okay? So the statues were spaced than the coins, bigger than the coins. And as you see here, I doubled the letter G عشان قبل ال G I have a vowel I, حرف متحرك. In number 3, the rings and necklaces were spaced the coins. Here, do I have than? أنا عندي كلمة than? No, I don't have it. So this means I will here put the adjective between as and as because both of the two sides are equal to each other. يعني في مساواة هنا، مفيش حاجة أكتر من حاجة. So here, this is the answer, as good as. كانت جيدة زي الcoins. Number 4, Hamid liked the vowels space than the tools. Than means a comparative case. So here, I add better than. Why didn't I add to good er? Because I told you last time, good and bad are irregular forms of comparative cases. ما ينفعش أحط gooder or badder. This is totally wrong in English. I shall say better than or the best if I'm talking about the best thing. The comparative و superlative cases. يعني حالة مقارنة ما بين حاجتين أو الأفضل. I say better than or the best. ولما يكون عندنا bad, I say worse than or the worst. Okay? So good and bad are irregular. يعني مش بيتحط لهم ER ولا EST. They are totally changed. بيتغيروا totally بالكامل. For number 5 here, tickets for adults are spaced than tickets for children. Adults اللي هم الناس الكبار are spaced than tickets for children. Of course, I have than. Again, I have to think of a comparative case. Of course, I have to choose expensive, but here, shall I add ER to expensive or not? Definitely, I can't because expensive is a long adjective. In this case, what shall I add? Yes, I shall add more. So it should be like this, more expensive than. Okay? So that was a quick recap on the difference between the short adjectives and long adjectives in the comparative cases and the as plus adjective as. For number 6, the museum is space from his house than Hamid's school. So here this is the last one for the adjectives. I shall say further. Okay, but I don't have here than. No, you have it, but here. Okay, so it's not important أو مش لازم إن احنا نلاقي than بعدها على طول. We can finish reading and we can find it later بعد كلمتين أو ثلاثة. Okay, most importantly is to finish reading till the full stop. لازم تكملوا قراية لحد آخر السؤال. Okay, so why did I change far from A to U here? It's far from A and here I put it as further with U. Both are correct. If you say further with A or further with U, both are correct. Okay? Here, for the speaking part, describe the pictures and tell the story using the past simple and the past continuous. Again, let me remind you of the past simple tense. It's only to add ed or to put the verb in the past form. If it's irregular, for example, like go, I put it in the past by saying went. If I say lose, يعني يخسر أو يفقد حاجة, it's lost. So, but if I say play in the past, it's played. I just add ed. Okay, so some verbs in the past, and I told you before, some verbs in the past are to be added to ed only to change it from present to past, and other verbs have to be totally changed. لازم يتغيروا بالكامل. Okay, so here we have some pictures, 4 pictures, and I have to describe the pictures in a paragraph form to tell a story, the story behind these 4 pictures. As you see here, some boys and some rubbish on the beach. Here there is a helpless turtle أو سلحفاة شكلها متضايق أو مش عارفة تتحرك قوي. Here some boys are helping the turtle and here the turtle seems أو شكلها مبسوط. So let's have our ideas in a paragraph form أو تعالوا نجمع كل ideas بتاعتنا in a paragraph form. Okay, here. Some boys were walking on a sunny day. النهارده احنا قلنا ان some boys were walking. So we're walking here. Now it refers to past continuous tense. Again, past continuous يعني الماضي المستمر. And in this tense أو في الزمن ده I put was or were plus ing. Okay, I want you to write these notes. لازم تكتبوا ده في الكوبي بوك زي ما قلت لكم. الكوبي بوك دي هتفيدكم انكم تكتبوا فيها كل النوتس that will help you while studying later on. يعني هتساعدكم وانتوا بتذاكروا. So again, I added here we're walking because that was action they were doing at that time. Okay, and I added were because I have boys. Again, when I have a plural subject, يعني لو عندي فاعل جمع, I shall add were plus ing. So some boys were walking on a sunny day. Suddenly, فجأة, they found a lot of rubbish on the beach. They decided to pick all the rubbish up. قرروا ان هم يلموا او يلتقطوا كل القمامة من على البيتش ده. While here, as you see, while, again, when I see while, I describe or I remember that I shall put the long action after it. يعني لازم احط long action after while, and this means I have to add was or were plus ing. Okay, so I say here while they were cleaning, بينما هم يعني كانوا بينظفوا, comma, again comma عشان انا بادئه باللونج action, they found a helpless turtle يعني شكلها مش عارف يتحرك on the beach which was unable to get back to the sea. مش عارفة ترجع البيتش السي, مش عارفة تتحرك because of a pink plastic bag around its neck. في بلاستيك باج أو كيس بلاستيك حوالين رقبتها مضايقها, مش عارفة تتحرك بسببه. And it was really annoying it. كان مضايقها. Annoying يعني مضايقها. They carefully pulled it out. Let me remind you of carefully. Carefully is an adverb. Okay. Pulled it out يعني شالوا الكيس من حوالين رقبتها بالراحة. Carried the turtle and they carried the turtle and got it back to the sea. ورجعوها للسي تاني. The turtle seemed معناها كانت تبدو يعني was very happy and the boys waved to it. البويز عملوا لها waving goodbye كده and were happy that it was safe. Then they walked away. وبعد كده مشيوا ورجعوا تاني للطريق اللي كانوا فيه. So that was my sample. طبعا of course you have the total freedom أو عندكم الحرية to change any of my sentences. That was just one of my samples. دي بس كانت نموذج إجابة أنا عملتها. Okay, let me remind you of these words. Who, where, which and that. I call them relative pronouns. ضمائر الوصل. And why should I use them? ليه المفروض استخدمهم? To replace the pronouns. يحلوا محل ضمائر. Okay? For example, if I say this is the bag, instead of saying it, no, I don't say it, I say which I bought last year, for example. دي الباج اللي اشتريتها. And I add which to refer to objects or animals, non-living things. يعني أنا بستخدم which or that, as you see here. Which or that are used to refer to animals للحيوانات أو الحاجات الغير عاقلة عموما أو objects. Okay? And of course I use who. Of course I can use who or that, by the way. This is the boy or this is the man who helped me, اللي ساعدني, or that helped me. يعني that can replace who or which. Okay? And where, can you remember when I shall use where? Yes, to refer to places. يعني this is the school where I study. وزي ما قلت لكم قبل كده I cannot add in with where. يعني ما ينفعش أقول this is the school where I study in. This is completely wrong in English. This is the school where I study. Or this is the school in which I study. يعني in which equals where. Okay? So let's now have some sentences, and every sentence has a space and we should fill in every space with the suitable relative pronoun. The boy, here I have a boy and it refers to a person. So of course I shall directly remember who. The boy, space, first. So the turtle helped it. Of course I shall add here who because it refers to a person, a boy. Number 2. The beach. Beach is a place. Okay? Space, the boys saw the turtle was full of rubbish. So if I'm referring to a place, what relative pronouns I shall use here? Yes, it's where. Number 3, the bag. Bag is an object أو حاجة غير عاقلة, شيء. The bag, space was on the turtle was pink. So which one I shall add here? I can add two, by the way. I can either add which or that. Both are correct. the bag which was on the turtle or the bag that was on the turtle. الاتنين صح. The turtle space they helped walk to the sea. So which one is the suitable one here? Yes, that. The turtle that or the turtle which. Both are correct. And for the last one, the boys space helped the turtle were happy it was safe. Of course, because I have boys here, which is the suitable one? Definitely, it's who. So that was a quick look at or a quick recap at or on the usage of the relative pronouns أو إزاي نستخدم ضمائر الوصل who, where, which, and that. Now, make a list of beach rules using should, must, mustn't, or have to. خلوني الأول أقول لكم الفرق ما بين must و mustn't و have or don't have to and should. شوية هما they are confusing أو بيلخبطونا in usage. Let me just simplify it أو خلوني أبسطها لكم جدا. هما طبعا التلاتة شوية شبه بعض but they have different degrees. يعني هما ليهم درجات مختلفة with slight differences. يعني فيهم اختلافات طفيفة قوي ما بينهم. Should, I use should for advice. Should or shouldn't are used for advice, for giving advice, any piece of advice. يعني لما أقول لك على حاجة as a piece of advice just نصيحة, I use should or shouldn't. You should do this or you shouldn't do this. And if I add should or shouldn't, I have to add infinitive على طول. يعني مش بقول should to or shouldn't to. No, I just add you should study hard, for example. You shouldn't play here, for example. For example, okay? So this is for should or shouldn't. What about must and have to? عشان دول اللي بيلخبطوا أكتر شوية. Must إلزامية أكتر من have to. يعني for example, you mustn't smoke at the hospital. You mustn't smoke at a petrol station. ما ينفعش تدخن في محطة البنزين أو في المستشفى because or else you will have a bad consequence. يعني هيبقى في عاقبة negative. يبقى في a fire, يبقى في أي fine غرامة أو أي حاجة. So if you do something or if you are not followed or if you don't follow something which is obligatory, يعني مش بتتبع حاجة إلزامية لو ما عملتهاش وهيحصل عليك ضرر. In this case I use must. Okay? يعني must usually I use it if something will harm me if I don't do it. يعني حاجة هتأذيني أو هتعملي ضرر. أو I use must to remind myself of something I must do. يعني كأني بلزم نفسي بحاجة. I must remember to buy my mom a gift on her birthday, for example. I must remember to write my lesson before I write my lessons every time I study, for example. كأني بلزم نفسي في حاجة, okay, بحاجة. So in this case, I use must if I am doing something or reminding myself of something. يعني كأني بلزم نفسي أو بفكر نفسي بحاجة. In this case, I use must. أو أعمل حاجة لازم ما ينفعش ان انا ما اعملهاش, لازم اعملها or else there will be a harm on me. يعني هيبقى في ضرر واقع عليا لو ما عملتهاش. What about have or don't have to? دي حاجة اكتر ليها علاقة بالرولز. Like for example, you have to wear your school uniform. يجب ان ترتدي الزي الرسمي او الزي المدرسي. دي عشان ليها علاقة بالرولز. Okay? You have to put the rubbish in the bins, for example. أي حاجة ليها علاقة برولز have to or don't have to. Okay? But let me remind you of something. Have to بتكون مع plural forms. Okay? يعني they have to, I have to, you have to. With the singular subjects I use has to. She has to do something. He has to do something. Mona has to do something. Okay? طيب خلونا هنا نقرأ كده. We have some beach rules. Okay? بعض القوانين أو الرولز اللي احنا لازم نمشي عليها when we are on a beach. هنا like don't swim when the weather is bad. Swim near the beach where we can see you. Wear a hat between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. No loud music. Put your rubbish in the bins and only play ball games in the park area. And we have to use should, must, or mustn't, or even have to with every rule of this. So let me show you my answers. You mustn't swim when the weather is bad. لأن ده I will be harmed. هيبقى في عليا ضرر لو أنا قررت أعوم والجو مش stable أو مش مستقر. So in this case I added mustn't. Okay, لأن ده حاجة إلزامية لازم أعملها. In number 2, you should swim near the beach where we can see you. لازم إن أنت أو ينبغي أو it's an advice to swim. Okay, should swim. أكني as if I'm giving you a piece of advice. عشان كده عملتها بshould. You must wear a hat between 11 or 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. عشان دي حاجة ممكن تجيلي ضربة شمس لو أنا مثلا ما لبستش hat in between these two times. That's why I added must. And as you see here, must is followed by infinitive. بيبقى بعدها infinitive. مفيش must to. Okay? هي have بس هي اللي بعدها to. Okay? You mustn't listen to loud music. ما ينفعش ان انت تسمع او مستحيل او ممنوع ان انت تسمع او تستمع ل loud music or else your ears will be harmed. ده هيأثر على ودنك. اتفقنا اي ضرر هيجي علينا من خلال الحاجة دي. That's why I have to use must or mustn't. You have to put your rubbish in the bins. ليه هنا استخدمت have to? Because I have a rule. Okay? You should play ball games in the park area. Here it's a piece of advice. That's why I added should plus infinitive. So here, for the last part of our session of today, we have here in your books some notes, and we are supposed to write a short newspaper report. هنكتب زي مقال كده in a newspaper about how a school helped the community. Let me remind you of the word community means المجتمع اللي احنا عايشين فيه وازاي ان احنا نعمل حاجة تفيد المجتمع. اوكي؟ فاكرين الراندوم اكت اوف كايندنس اللي اتكلمنا عليه او الاعمال الخيريه اللي بنعملها بشكل عشوائي او without waiting for something in return؟ ان احنا اتعلمنا ازاي نعمل حاجه خيريه من غير ما نستنى حاجه في المقابل. So this was like an example of something we can help the community with. Okay, let me read you my short article or short report. Last month, students of class 6 in West Nile School decided to do something which they can help the community with. قرروا يعملوا حاجة يخدموا بيها المجتمع. They cooked 20 meals. زي طبخوا أو جهزوا 20 وجبة every week for people who are disabled. اتفقنا people who are disabled يعني عندهم نوع من الإعاقة فهم قرروا إن هم يساعدوهم ويوزعوا 20 meals every week. They also went to a lot of houses in south of city. اتجهوا لجنوب المدينة to distribute some meals عشان يوزعوا بعض الوجبات among the poor على الفقراء there. People there were really happy with the meals and they thanked the students. وشكروا جدا ال students. Their teachers were proud of them because the students worked really hard. طبعا التيتشرز كانوا فخورين جدا باللي عملوه التلاميذ دول أو الطلبة دول. The teachers thanked the students and said to them. خلوني أفكركم لو عندنا said to I have to add a comma and open speech marks أو أفتح أحط العلامات دي and then capital letter. You really did a wonderful job. ده معناه إن حد قال الwords دي. This is what we call a random act of kindness and then I add full stop and then the other speech marks. ده كان الsample of the random act of kindness the students did to help the community. So by this paragraph we have just read or the report, we ended our session of today and I want you to get ready for the next session because we will continue revising our grammar lessons. So for next time, be ready with your copybooks and your books and your pens. Thank you so much for watching this episode and I will be waiting for you by next time. Thank you again and stay safe. Bye.